to get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Thursday, January 13th, 2021, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. I know I hit the Facebook thing, but hopefully it's up on Facebook. If not, who cares? I mean, we've been dealing with a bunch of some technical difficulties, if you will. You can notice the show is a little bit different today, and that is basically due to the fact that my computer didn't want to load the program that I use to stream and to bring content to you guys, and I don't know why that is the case, but hey, shit happens, right? But we have the iPad. We are ready to rock and roll. We have it all set up. This is Plan B. Plan A, it was working up to this point. I don't know what the hell happened, but we got to figure it out. Okay, so today we got to dive into a little bit that has happened around the world of the NFL. Some more coaching firings have happened. JuJu Smith-Schuster seems like he is back at practice. Don't really know what happens or what the plan is for his future. But we will dive into that a little bit as well. And then yesterday, obviously, we dived into the AFC side of things. Okay, who's going to be playing in the Super Wild Card weekend? The Steelers and the Chiefs, the Patriots and the Bills, the Raiders and the Bengals. We talked about them, gave you who's the favorite to win that game, my kind of 2 cents on what is kind of happening, what is transpiring. Today we're going to dive in to get your fix. Well, today I learned of the news, actually right after work, that wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, JuJu Smith-Schuster, was back at practice. What does that mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers and their organization going forward, being that they have the 7th seed in this year's playoffs, right? Well, I'm not sure it means too much up to this point. So Ian Rappaport via Twitter, he reported that hashtag Steelers wide receiver JuJu Smith-Schuster, who practiced today following shoulder surgery that landed him on IR, does have a chance to play this weekend. It'll depend on how he does in practice, but Coach Mike Tomlin called it a start. So obviously he went back to practice. He is technically, or I guess not anymore, he was on IR due to his shoulder surgery that he had earlier in the season. We weren't sure if he was going to make it back for obviously the playoff push and the playoff run that they are currently having. We also did not know that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to make this year's playoffs, right? I mean, they have that one tie against, I think it was the Lions. They really weren't doing so hot to start the season compared to last year and stuff like that. So their opportunity of making the playoffs were really non-existent, right? Okay, so we weren't really for sure if JuJu was going to make an appearance, right? He is back at practice. He is practicing. They did designate him to return from IR, which means that gives him a chance to start this Sunday, or this Saturday, I believe, in which they do play the Kansas City Chiefs, the number 2 seed. This isn't really, I guess, too big of news. It is kind of big because it is their number 1 receiver other than Chase Claypool. But I just don't see him making or being able to play in this year's wild card matchup. It's too far-fetched at this point. I mean, we've seen other people get injured and come back and not play right away, right? Like Jareer Alexander, David Bakhtiari, all those guys from the Packers, okay? They came back from IR. They really haven't been playing all that much. And this is kind of the same situation I feel like that's going to happen with JuJu. He's going to have or give the Pittsburgh Steelers the opportunity to say, hey, yep, he can go. Or he's going to, give them the chance to say, look, you're not going to cut it. You're not going to play this weekend. And things like that happen. Okay, I wouldn't expect JuJu to play this weekend. Maybe next weekend if for some odd reason they do find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And from what Big Ben thinks and what Big Ben has said, it doesn't seem like that will be the case. Big Ben was on a press conference call the other day, and or I guess this morning, it was like, look, our team does not compare to the Kansas City Chiefs. If there's 14 teams in the playoffs, if you were to rank them, we're probably the 14th best team in this playoff, so last place basically. He's like, I don't really know if we have that big of a chance. I, however, do believe the Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance, just because if this is Big Ben's last season of his career, there's no way in hell he's going to go out there and lay an egg. Am I correct? I mean, this guy's going to go out there, put everything on the line, give the Steelers one hell of a chance to potentially beat the Kansas City Chiefs, move to the divisional round and face whoever the hell they have to face then, which I would assume if they win, because they're the 7th seed, it would be the Tennessee Titans, and there they face another tough challenge. Shit, every team in this year's playoff are the best of the best. So every round you go in, every round you play in, it's going to be a tough one, right? So this is some big news. Not really big news, but it is some big news, some good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they are getting JuJu Smith-Schuster back at practice. Who knows if he's going to be available Sunday or Saturday, whenever the day is that they play. But some big news coming out of Pittsburgh there. Some other news around the league. Okay, the Houston Texans joined not only the Giants, not only the Jaguars, the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Raiders, sorta, or at least up to this point, they still have their head coach, Richie Bisaccia. How's your fucking family? Okay, he's still in there, but his job is up as well. But the Houston Texans decided to part ways with head coach David Culley this morning. A lot of people weren't sure if this was actually going to happen, right? He comes and takes over a dysfunctional organization in the Houston Texans. I mean, they're without Deshaun Watson the entire season. DeAndre Hopkins was traded. J.J. Watt was traded. Their whole roster was brand new. Really, they didn't have a chance at really doing anything special this entire season. And, well, the report came out that he has been fired by the Houston Texans, like I mentioned. And I guess one of the big reasons was that he was not budging on the fact that he needs to get rid of his offensive coordinators, everybody that has to do with the offense, because he wanted to keep things trucking, kind of give him one more shot. Let's see if we can get this thing working in the right direction, because we know it's hard to win in the NFL, let alone when you have a team that really is not that good towards the bottom of the league, right? It's hard to win. I don't believe he was really given a shot. But I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner of an organization. I have no fucking clue what I would do. Honestly, in my opinion, I would probably end up keeping David Culley for one more season. I mean, they literally have nothing going for them over there in the Houston Texans organization. The only thing that I've seen that was slightly okay was probably Davis Mills, their rookie quarterback out of Stanford, and Brandon Cooks. That was pretty much a give me, right? He's a wide receiver, their top wide receiver. He's going to get a lot of attention, a lot of yards until people start figuring him out, which they did towards the end of the season. So with David Culley really not having anything, I mean, why fire the dude? Like, I understand, winning is what the NFL is all about. Winning, winning, winning. You lose, you have a losing record, people start looking at you in a negative manner, right? Everyone's like, oh, this guy fucking stinks, get him out of town. But you gotta do what you gotta do if you want the organization to go in a different direction, if you have a different mindset, a different view set of what is this organization gonna look like in 5 years. And you don't see David Culley in that picture like I believe the owners of the Houston Texans did, then it was time to let him go. But at the same exact time, the Houston Texans apparently owe David Culley, hold on, let me go pull this, let me pull this stat up a little bit. That's a shitload of money, folks. Okay, let's go take a gander, see if it's one of the top ones. It is right here. So that's Houston, per Tom Pelissero on Twitter, the hashtag Houston Texans owe David Culley another $17 million over the next 3 years. So Culley walks away with roughly $22 million for 1 season as Houston's head coach. Pretty good parting gift, I would say, huh? And that is exactly what Ian Rappaport said. I mean, $22 million for 1 year. I mean, how you fucking doing? How's your family over there? I mean, he got paid, and he's going to make every single dime of that over the next 3 years. They have to continue to pay him, regardless if they hire a new head coach or not, right? They have to give him that money. That is what they owe him. It might take some time. They might fight it. Oh, well, hold on here. I mean, 1 season, 22. I mean, come on. It's a lot of money. Can we bring it down just a little bit? Can you just take what you got and leave it? I mean, come on. But I don't think that's going to happen. $22 million over the next 3 years. 17 they still owe him over the next 3 years. So 22 total. That's what I'm trying to say right there. But David Culley was released by the Houston Texans, as well as their offensive coordinator who got fired. I'm not really sure of his name because he was pretty much irrelevant because the Houston Texans were pretty much irrelevant this whole season. Am I right? I mean, can I get a whoop whoop? Yep, you know it. But it sucks for him. But like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of head coaching vacancies. 8 head coaching vacancies was just 1/4 of the NFL. It's a massive amount. The average, I think, is about 7 teams that have to find, or 7 or 6 teams that have to find a new head coach the next season. These 8 teams need a new head coach. The New York Giants, obviously, got rid of Joe Judge. The Houston Texans just got rid of David Culley. The Jacksonville Jaguars got rid of Urban Meyer. An interim head coach had to step up in his place. They are going to be looking for a new head coach. The interview process has already begun. They've literally interviewed everybody and anybody that they could, or that they can. The Denver Broncos fired Vic Fangio. The Miami Dolphins fired Brian Flores. Probably one of the most shocking firings I have seen in quite some time, but ownership and the head coach just didn't get along. We're butting heads constantly, and who gives a shit about having a winning season, right? Apparently not the Dolphins. Then you got the Minnesota Vikings firing Mike Zimmer. We all kind of seen that coming. The Chicago Bears getting rid of Matt Nagy. And the Las Vegas Raiders might, depending on the run, I feel like, that the Raiders go on in the playoffs. Maybe they hit a Super Bowl. Maybe they win a Super Bowl. It's all, who knows? It could definitely happen, right? Playoffs are, it's a different beast. It's a different mindset. It's a different kind of game flow. It's all different. Richie Bisaccia could be out of the NFL as well. And then 3 general managers have also been let go. That would be the Giants. He wasn't fired. He retired. Dave Gettleman, he is out. The Minnesota Vikings, Rick Spielman, see you later. Don't want you back. You stink. You had a couple hits in the draft, but more misses than not. I mean, we had 5 corners the last 6 seasons in the first round, and not a single fucking one of them are still on the team. I mean, what more do you want me to say? I mean, this guy is, I think he was part of the Christian Ponder draft. Woo! We don't need that again, okay? See you later, fucker. And the Chicago Bears, Ryan Pace also got fired as well as the Bears general manager. So enough on the firings, okay, because there's not much to dive into there otherwise, other than, all the interviewees that they're all looking at and who could potentially be the next head coach of blah, 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 and blah, blah. We got to talk about the NFC playoff picture, the wild card weekend that is taking place, the super wild card weekend that is taking place. So first and foremost, let's begin with these 2 teams. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to Raymond James Stadium to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is going to be taking place on Sunday, January 16th at noon, okay? Noon Central Time, 12 Central Time, whatever you want to say. It's at noon, okay? This is a pretty big game. I really do think this is going to be a hard-fought game because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have struggled as of late, as of recent. They really haven't hit on all cylinders. Their offense is kind of lackadaisical, especially with the recent absence of Chris Godwin and now Antonio Brown. The Buccaneers have been struggling. They're banged up everywhere. Their defense has been banged up. They're missing some pieces defensively as well. So that leads me to believe that Philly actually has a legitimate chance at potentially beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is going to be one of the upsets that possibly could happen. I don't want to say that for my boy fucking, Tom Brady, but it's very, very possible that the Eagles walk into Raymond James Stadium and figure it out and run it down their throats. Use Miles Sanders, use Jalen Hurts. Don't use Jalen Reagor because the man, he's bad. He is so bad. Only little over 200 yards receiving, a first-round pick a year ago, right before Justin Jefferson. Thank the dear Lord, baby Jesus, that we didn't get him because he is absolute garbage. But I still believe the Eagles have a chance. Their defense has been flying around, playing phenomenal football, keeping them in ball games, as well as Jalen Hurts doing his thing as well, like I just mentioned. Currently in this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 8.5-point favorites to potentially win this game. Bring that down. Okay, 8.5 points, too much. I really do believe that. I think the Eagles show a lot of fight, a lot of poise. They are dogs, like Nick Sirianni has said, their head coach. Honestly, I believe this spread should be closer to 4, maybe 5, maybe 3. Because, yeah, as much as we know Tampa's the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Eagles have been showing a lot more lately than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And going into the playoffs, momentum is what you need to win and keep winning and potentially fight for a Lombardi. So at this point in time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 8.5-point favorites. Should be brought down because, like I said, I think the Eagles are going to put up a good fight, a decent fight. So the other game, the next game we got is the San Francisco 49ers right here going to take on the Dallas fucking Cowboys down there in Jerry World. This is going to be a pretty fun, electrifying game. We've all seen what the Niners are capable of doing, but at the same time, look, that Cowboys defense is phenomenal. They go out there, they fly around, they hit you, they cause turnovers like Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons. They hit the quarterback. They have a lot of pressures. Their offense is another side of things where they could all of a sudden just go off, explode, fucking crush you, or they could not do as well and make it a ball game. And I think coming into the playoffs, they're gonna be coming exploding off the ball, hard-nosed football. They're gonna try to put as many points on the board as possible so that this is not a close game. But hey, you get George Kittle going for the Niners. You get Deebo Samuel going for the Niners, in which he's been an absolute stud at both the wide receiver position and the running back position. You get Jimmy Garoppolo starting to throw the ball and more than 10 times than he had 2 years ago or whatever, 10 passing attempts before the Super Bowl. Just can't have it, okay? We just can't have it. You got to go out there. You got to sling the ball against this Dallas Cowboys team, and you got to do it perfectly. Because if not, Trevon Diggs is going to make you pay, even though he's lit up the most yards by a corner this year in the NFL. But he has the most interceptions as well, so it's kind of a give one, take one type of thing, okay? So that is a fun game. The Dallas Cowboys are currently 3-point favorites. That I do like, because like I said, the Niners can literally put up one of the best fights we've seen this entire season. We did not think they were going to be this good. And here they are marching, gaining that momentum, coming into the playoffs, Super Wild Card weekend. They got the Dallas Cowboys. They know what they're up against, and I think they're gonna exceed expectations. They're gonna make this one hell of a ball game, a tough-fought ball game, and I really don't know what to expect, because in my eyes, whoever wins this game, even if it is the Niners, I don't see it as an upset, because the Niners are one hell of a football team. So are the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Niners aren't as good as their counterparts, the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams, but it is definitely something to kind of worry about and kind of keep an eye on, obviously. But 3-point favorites are the Dallas Cowboys in that one. And finally, the last matchup for Wild Card or Super Wild Card weekend. Couldn't have asked for a better ending of Super Wild Card weekend. Monday Night Football, January 17th at 7:15, we have the Arizona Cardinals going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Rams. This is an absolute barn burner, just like the Patriots and Bills had 1-1 on the season. The Arizona Cardinals and the Rams are also 1-1, where the Rams ended up taking the number 1 seed in the NFC West division after they beat the Cardinals their second time, and they're rolling and they're having fun, okay? Currently, the Rams are 4-point favorites. I think it should be about the same as the Dallas Cowboys, because Matthew Stafford has been playing some dog shit football as of late. Multiple turnovers since the Vikings game. He had 2 interceptions the Vikings game. I believe he had 2 or 3 interceptions against the Ravens. And then I believe last week he also had an interception or 2 as well. Matthew Stafford has been garbage the past couple weeks. And if that translates into playoff football, we all know, and I think we all believe, that whoever wins the turnover battle is more than likely, going to win that playoff game. And with the way Arizona's defense is set up, Isaiah Simmons, Budda Baker, I mean, the list goes on. They have J.J. Watt is back at practice. He's ready to rock and roll. Chandler Jones is ready to rock and roll. This defense is ready, poised and ready to beat the dog shit out of the Rams. And I think they're going to give the Rams one hell of a game. They're going to make it, it's going to be a run for their money, basically. I think the Rams have something coming to them, and they really don't understand that, I feel like, at this point in time. But at the same time, you got Cooper Kupp on that offense. Who knows what the hell Cam Akers is going to do. Last week, he only had 3 rushes for 2 yards, or 5 rushes for 3 yards, excuse me. So, I mean, anything can possibly happen in this ball game. I think all of it really depends on if Arizona's offense is as good as it has been in the past. If they can find a way to win without DeAndre Hopkins and find a way to put massive stats on the board, they can potentially beat the Rams and move on to the divisional round. And they're looking at playing either the Cowboys or the Niners. So this is going to be a very fun game. I couldn't have asked for a better ending to Super Wild Card Weekend, a divisional matchup, a hard-nosed matchup, going to be one hell of a game to witness in person and all that. But I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well, because those are the matchups for Super Wild Card Weekend. We all know the Tennessee Titans and the Green Bay Packers both have the first seed and home field advantage through the entire playoffs. They also have a first round bye. They will not be playing this weekend. However, on the AFC side, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. And then we also have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And on the NFC side, which we just went through, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Rams. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. It sucks we had technical difficulties. I'm glad we still have this up and running, and I'm glad it's working, because if this didn't work, jeez, it would have been tough, okay? We're either going to be looking at getting a new computer, maybe, or, we're just going to have to roll the punches, get a new streaming service. Maybe Streamlabs just isn't working, right? Now, I don't know what the hell went on. Don't really care. I mean, I do care, because it fucking pissed me off. I was dealing with it for about an hour trying to get that fucking thing to work. Just wasn't working. But like I said, we have this. I'm glad I always can create content, create what I want to say, my opinion. This is my fucking show. And we're going to make it work, okay? Because 1 day off is okay. 2 to 3 days and beyond that, I come back and it's just like, whoa, I'm a little rusty. Got to knock the rust off. Got to get a little bendy, and then I can really come at you full force like I did today, sort of. It may have seemed a little rocky, but that's because I was fucking pissed off to start the show. But I'm happy. We got the show done and over with. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Who knows if we'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to try to get that whole thing working for my laptop. If not, we're going to do it again on here. But we got to make our picks for Super Wild Card Weekend. Hopefully John and Logan are going to be able to be with me tomorrow to do so. And you guys stay safe if you're doing anything as well tomorrow. I mean, it's supposed to be snowing pretty heavily. So, like I said, be safe as you possibly can. So with that being said, go enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great one. We'll see you possibly tomorrow. Actually, more than likely tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. Like always, Facebook and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Thank you guys and have a great one.